Okay. All right. So I'm really excited to share with you tonight. Specifically, we'll be talking about conversations that happen through social media. So for those of you that don't know, I have spent the last year or more actually now using social media as my primary way of growing my business. It was very pivotal for me in actually hitting the rank of senior gold, and it is a part of the system that I teach my team as we're pushing for Ruby. So in these conversations, we're going to be talking about um, a few specific things. One, I call it DM flow, how we want our conversations to look like when we are engaging in a conversation with someone. Reach outs. How do we reach out to someone who is sharing in their content that they need help of some kind? Pivot conversations, which is okay, we've been relationship building for a while, but now it's about time for us to see if they have a need from us. And then closing thoughts and any questions that you guys have, you're more than welcome to share either in the chat or during that final piece. So let's dig right into it.
Nelly,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on everybody's screen, but I got a thing blocking. It says audience window. It's blocking me from seeing all of your
Does
full
everyone else
screen.
see that? Oh, I see that. Thank
Okay.
you, Canva. Better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know before I went too far with that. Okay, so let's go into DM flow, and y'all are welcome to screenshot or anything as we delve into this. So I try to keep it pretty simple here when we talk about conversations, just because there comes to a point where you have to have this in your head. One thing that I started doing when I first began was I had it written out, like copy and paste, literally. And in every conversation, I would paste it into the chat and then delete everything that wasn't relevant. And then I'd paste it and delete everything. So I made sure that I hit every point of the conversation. So to start, we want to acknowledge and connect. So if someone um comments on your stuff, they engage with your content in some way. Hey, thanks so much for commenting. I'd love to learn more about your goals. What made you curious about what I shared? And really listen. So even if someone says more info, please, that is not your time for you to send them a whole bunch of Plexus information. That is a time for you to get into DM. So when you say, I'll DM you, you are literally going into DMs. Hey, thanks so much for engaging. I'm super curious. What drew your attention to my post? Be patient with this. Yes, it might make it so that they're most people aren't going to say yes in the first 15 minutes anyway. Just take the time to build the case that what we're doing has value. Um, because we are doing high ticket items, if there's not an initial trust built, like these people don't know you, then that means that you have to build that trust, and it's going to take a few steps to get there. So ask questions. Next, listen and identify their need. So say things like, tell me more about what you've tried before, what worked, what didn't work for you. I've even had people tell me they've tried Plexus before. And so, okay, what was your regimen when you started? What did that look like for you? How long did you try this? Just to really understand, because I've had people try Plexus and they tried it wrong. Or they say they tried Plexus and they only did the pink drink or BioCleanse. My goodness, the people that have only tried BioCleanse because it's the cheapest is just wild. Okay, this is where you're building trust. And this is where you're starting to hear their pain points or the areas that they're struggling with, so you can later connect it to Plexus, right? So right now you're just listening to what they're dealing with. And they might say something like, oh my gosh, I love that you lost 15 pounds. I would love to lose 15 pounds. But that might not be where they're actually struggling, right? Where they might actually be struggling is like in their sleep or in their energy or their mood or something. So just let some unpacking be done. Next, relate and educate them gently. Relating is, I totally get that. I've been there too. You guys remember, or some of you may remember the feel, felt, found training. I completely understand how you feel. I have felt the same way. And what I have found was solution, right? Relate to their problem and then share your solution. I totally get that. I've been there too. And what has helped me was, so a tip here says briefly share your story. It's great if it's off the cuff, very short, like less than a minute. Don't turn this into about you. You sharing about you is to help them realize that you understand where they are. And then you can ask, would you be open to me sharing what's been working for me and what's helped other people too? Another like question I like, so would you be open, or feel free to tell me no, or this might not be for you, and just give them outs. Help them to see that you're comfortable with them saying, hey, not right now. And then the last piece here says present the product like a solution, not a pitch. And this is where I love a lot of Bob Heilig's training, especially the more recent ones, because he talks a lot about the love-led approach and about not being transactional. And sometimes, especially if in our heart we're like, oh, this is going to be, they need this, I'm going to get this sale. We flip into what's called transactional mode, which is, I have a product for you to buy, you need to buy my product. And we miss the part where we're still building trust and building belief for them. So we want them to see that whatever we're offering, it is an answer to their problem. We're still not trying to sell them. We are offering a solution. So we keep it light, we keep it relatable, and we keep it targeted. So we say something like, based on what you shared, I'd recommend focusing on blood sugar and gut support. That's where we usually start for, say, those dealing with weight issues or those dealing with thyroid and liver issues. And just you take their problem that they say, like the thing they're struggling the most with, and it's a good thing to um in section number 2 where we say listen and identify the need, you can share the gut health quiz in there and you can ask them which of these do you struggle with the most, and just really dig, because if someone has like 15 things, like they marked off the entire gut health quiz, I all of these are problems for me, there is one or two in there where for them personally that bothers them the most. So we really want to target the highest pain point that they're experiencing. Like, what would it feel like to not yell at your kids tomorrow? What would it feel like to wake up and have energy? And just I know from experience that these specific products are going to help with that. I even have some great testimonials of some of my friends that are dealing with this. Would you like to read some? Give them options in that way of building. And so like until it feels like they've locked into, okay, I need this, we have to be willing to just keep sharing information, gently educating, listening. Okay. And then finally, that point number 5, wait before you share the price. And this is really important because I've had people initial contact. Hey, friend, thanks so much for commenting on my post. What drew you to my thing? Oh, I want to lose a few pounds. How much is it? So my pivot, when they're asking me for pricing at the top of our conversation flow, I would love to tell you how much it is. Here, let me get some information from you to make sure this is even worth your time. Because I don't want to waste your time or your money. Would you like to? I have a super simple quiz. Why don't you mark this up? Let me know, because what's happening to me might not be for you. And just get back to the top of the conversation flow. They don't need to know that it's $126 until we've established the value of the product. Because at the very top, and I've made this mistake before. Oh, you want to know the price? Oh, yes, of course, let me get you the price. Yeah, and spew everything about Plexus, because now you're trying to get it all out really quick. And so you send all the screenshots, you send all the graphics, and you send the pricing, and they're like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Like, yeah, I can't do that. No, thanks. So the pivot conversation, if they ask for money right off the bat, I would love to tell you how much it is. Let me get some information from you to make sure that this is the system that's best for you. Okay. And hold on, I lost all my Canva, you got me. Okay, there it goes. So then at the end, you could say, so before you drop the price, so you've shared the product. This is what I recommend. I normally just send a simple graphic. This is what I recommend for you. This is a 3-part system. You got the blood sugar regulation drink that's going to help with your mood, your energy, um, and your blood sugar. You've got the probiotic, which is 5 strains that's going to help with healing your gut and getting to the root of your sugar cravings. And then you've got the magnesium blend that's going to make sure you are pooping regularly. Also, use the word poop. It calms them down. It's like people get all tense and all stuff, and then you're like, hey, poop, 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 poop. And they're like, oh, ha, she's okay. She's not trying to sell me anything. She says the word poop. Okay. So once I share the graphic and I'm like, does this look like something you'd want to try? And then they say, oh, yeah. Or, well, I don't know. I think I'd like some more information. And then I say, I would love to share some testimonials with you. Or I've had people say, well, it depends on the price. I totally understand that. Okay. If price wasn't an issue, would you be able to handle a drink and 2 capsules? Does that sound okay? Oh, yeah, yeah, I do capsules all day. Okay, great. Let me get you a screenshot of what your shopping cart would look like before we move forward. And you can take a look, let me know what you think. So we want them to be sold on, I would do this before they see the price, because that sticker shock will get in their head. They're like, no, I'm not going to do that. But if they commit to, I'm going to do this, they may not say yes right there on the spot for the money. But once they've committed to, I bought into the belief of this product, it's only a matter of time before they're like, okay, I got to save up for it. Let me talk to my husband. I'm going to work it out. And blah, blah, blah. Most times they're going to find a way to make it happen. I've had still people leave me like after that, but not many. Not if I've taken my time to really dig through their issues. So then after they're like, hey, yeah, I'm good with the system. Okay, great. I can share a couple options for you that will fit your goals and your price. So I've done like the reset triplex, and then triplex, and then I've even done slim and X factor. All of those are over 100 PV, and they're going to help the customer. Okay. Moving right along. Reach outs. Okay. So this is when you see people post content in their stories, in their like on their Facebook, whatever. They are sharing content that's saying, I need help. Basically, people are literally giving us invitations to serve them, and we just have to recognize it. Um, Things like, I need coffee to function. Oh my gosh, if I don't have my morning coffee and my afternoon coffee and my midday coffee and my coffee, I'm just gonna die. Okay, red flag. You don't need that much coffee. Oh, my skin. I can't believe I'm 35 years old and I'm still dealing with chronic acne. I hate this. That's another one. Like, I'm always sick and my kids are always sick. I can't believe it. I'm sick again. Oh, this is the worst. That's another thing. Um, like, okay, well, here goes me trying to get healthy again. I've been craving, I do good for 2 days and I'm back on the sugar or whatever. And whatever you can think of, literally there are so many issues that people post about, and we can offer a solution to them. So normally how you can respond, you can mostly it's either in DMs. Do not start pushing Plexus in comments. But you can say, hey, I'm going to shoot you a message real quick if you want to comment. I think, or I'd love to talk more about this. Let me shoot you a message. Or in their stories, you can respond in DMs. You can say, I feel this. I feel this through and through. I feel this in my soul. Oh, girl, that cut me deep. I struggled with the same thing last year. That used to be my problem all the time. Relate to them. And then you can ask if they're open. Not sure if you're open to natural support or holistic healing stuff, but I found something that helped me so much with that. Totally happy to share if you're curious. And then you just go up to the top of our DM flow, right? Once they say, hey, yeah, I'd love to hear. Great. Tell me about what you're going through so that I can just make sure this is even for you. And you just go right back to the top. Listening, observing. It's like, okay, I see that you talked about being exhausted all the time. What is that like for you? Are you taking multivitamins? Are you on medication? Do you feel like you have to take caffeine all day? Are you sleeping through the night? Or do your kids wake you up all night? Like, what is going on? And just be that listening friend that cares. Okay. So, and always give them permission to reject you. It's okay. You're not going to die. So again, like I said earlier, I love saying things like, feel free to tell me no. This might not be for you. I'm not sure if you're open to this, but we want to give them permission to reject us, to say no without pressure, because that builds trust when they feel like, oh man, if I don't say yes to every piece of this hard sell, oh great, here she comes telling me we don't want that. We're here to serve them. So we need to be able to give them that space. Okay, next section. Pivot conversations. Okay, so in this section, you have been relationship building in your DMs. You're getting to know someone new. Usually on Instagram, there's a lot of relationship building. You connected over a reel or something. You've just followed them. So you've been getting to know someone, and sometimes you're talking with them and you haven't found a clear way to share Plexus. They haven't quite expressed a problem, um, or you just haven't quite felt like, oh, I can jump into this. So you can send them a message saying things like, I've loved following your journey. Do you mind me asking, have you ever tried gut health support or supplements before? Or something like just an easy, gentle in. Or you can message them saying, this is a random question, but do you know much about blood sugar balance? I've been learning how much it impacts my mood, energy, and cravings. I usually say that like along the if I've seen someone like with the coffee stuff is real. I've seen like, oh, I'm addicted to coffee, and they desperately love the coffee. So I actually have an in with that one. And I was like, hey, I know this seems wild, but I've chatted with a few of my clients, and it seems like the coffee thing is more like a creamer addiction. What do you think about that? And then I normally get the, oh yeah, I love my creamer. They're like, does your creamer have carrageenan in it? And we just start chatting. I was like, how would you love to just break free of that? And we dig through caffeine. Anyway, um, another thing I love to do in DMs if I haven't talked to someone in a long time, but I know that they could be a prospect, I will do a reach out and I'll say, oh my goodness, it's been so long since we last chatted. How has this last week been for you? And I'll ask like, or what has the last few days been like for you? And ask instead of saying, hey, how you doing? Normally, how are you doing gets the response, good, you? But if I ask them, hey, how's the last few days been? Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't talked to you since December of last year. How has 2025 been treating you? I've gotten like genuine, oh my gosh, so much has happened. My kids, my husband, we've started this thing. It's been a wild ride. It feels like a bumpy roller coaster every week, whatever the responses are, then we re-engage. Um, I've also had, if I've known people on my radar, they were sharing chronic illness or something like that. I might say something like, hey, you came to my mind the other day when I was helping someone else with fibromyalgia. Um, so I know you've mentioned that. How are you dealing with that? Do you feel like you've found a solution to the struggles that come with it? And just ask them. Um, Or if some lady is talking about like her hair is thinning or something, and I say like, hey, you came to mind the other day when I was helping my friend with thyroid issues. Do you know, have you ever been diagnosed or have you ever struggled with your thyroid? And just see what they say. I was like, I just asked because I remember you mentioning your hair was thinning, and I know that could be a symptom of hypothyroidism. Um, have you ever heard of that? And then I would actually dig for other like symptoms of that said issue, just to like help them see if they're dealing with something like that. But all the pivot combos are just, I want to pivot to see if you have a problem. I'm not going to talk about Plexus until I have heard that you have a problem. So, I mean, most people don't openly talk about like people, you don't see people on there like, oh, I'm constipated, but there might be other hints of like, oh my gosh, I can't get rid of this belly. This belly just won't go away. I feel ick or bloated. It's like we had such a good time and now my stomach hurts or stuff like that. And I would struggle with stuff like that where we would go out to eat or something, go get some ice cream, and then my stomach would hurt, like a deep hurt. Okay. So that's basically my three pieces for social media. I do DM flow, reach outs, and pivot conversations. And again, all these, when I get them to start talking about their problem, I go right back to DM flow of trying to find their solution and get them to the Plexus thing. Being patient, diligent, and just knowing that there might be people that they don't trust me yet. They don't know me. So I have to be willing to build that trust. And I've had several people, like if I went back in my notebooks, I had a Plexus conversation with them. They told me no. 2 months later, they come back and like, okay, I'm ready now. So just take it as it is. When you're on social media, it's especially with high ticket items, it is about building trust. Like you, more than anything, they're buying from you. If they wanted Plexus for itself, they could just go to the Plexus website. But everything else is they are buying you. They're buying you. So build that trust, establish that the product you're offering is valuable to them, but more than anything, that they can trust you, that you care about them. Okay. Final thoughts. You're not bugging anyone. You are not. You are not bugging anyone. You are offering help and hope. And the DMs are where hearts are served and lives are changed, one real conversation at a time. It is very there are layers to our own mental hurdles that we have. And when we get trapped on the I'm bugging people, you miss out on the opportunity to serve people. It's just considering the fact that if you were not making an income from Plexus, would you still be offering the solution to them? If the answer is yes, then you need to offer them this solution. If the answer is no, I wouldn't offer Plexus as a solution if I saw someone struggling with their skin, with their stomach, with their thyroid, with their chronic illness, then you have to ask yourself, okay, what do I believe Plexus can do? Because if you don't believe Plexus can help with those things, you're not going to make it very far in this because I mean, this is a solution to genuine problems. So you have to come to terms with the fact, do I or do I not believe that these products can do what they say they can do? Right? Okay. So my final thing is I want to challenge y'all. This week, I want you to connect with at least 3 people using these prompts. It does take intentionality. Like I said before, when I first started, like the DM flow, I had that saved in my clipboard on my phone, and I would just literally copy and paste it and make sure I went through it and deleted anything that wasn't relevant at the time. That's literally how I did it until it became muscle memory. Um, yes. So connect with 3 people using the prompts. We're not here to sell, just serve and start genuine conversations. Um, the sale is the fruit of heart-led conversations, right? We're not aiming for the sale. The sale is just a result of us being caring in the DMs. If you find yourselves like the sale keeps falling flat, like that means your conversation isn't bearing fruit, which means there's something in the conversation that is pulling that seed out of the ground too soon. It's killing your seed, it's overwatering your seed, it's not fertilizing your seed or watering your seed. It's something where the fruit that should be coming isn't coming because we're missing a step in the process. So hopefully all y'all are farmers and understand that illustration. So that's all I have. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this share in the recording. And if anyone has any questions, you're more than free to ask. Once I do this and I do that.